again!
Yes, people, another edition of Knightz on the Round Table discussions where we discuss all sports all the time. Got my guys, The Truth and Mr. KA with me. How we doing, people?
How's it going, guys? People out there, fans, haters, everyone, how's it going?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Hope you guys are well.
All good, man. All good. Now, before we start, as usual, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, abuse, anything you want to do. Just make sure you do something. Build up the channel, build up the views. We're building up slowly, but we need to get it going quicker. But we're not going to hesitate anymore because for once, I'm happy. For once, something went right because my guys, the LA Lakers, winning the NBA Finals. 10 years in the making.
Won't last long, happiness, man. You have something to say. Won't last long, guys.
Yep, 10 years in the making, 10 years after Kobe single-handedly won the chip on his own. In 2010, 2020, the year of coronavirus, the Lakers have brought the chip back to where it belongs, winning the NBA Finals 4-2. Game 6, winning it 106-93. Mr. KA, I'm going to come to you first. How much do you rate this chip that has been won by the Los Angeles Lakers?
You always gotta start with me, man. What's up with that?
you're our basketball connoisseur, so you know
the pressure. Nah, it's so good. Now I rate this as any other trophy because they had to beat who was in front of them. The Lakers had the same amount of time off, same amount of rest. Everyone went through the pandemic, so it's like you can't complain. I don't think you can complain. So the people out there listing off all the reasons why it was a cakewalk for the Lakers and why it's a Mickey Mouse ring because they're in Disney, but I don't think you can say anything bad really. Like it's just people nitpicking. So I'm happy with it. I'm satisfied with the ring that they got.
No, I 100% agree with you. Look, at the end of the day, all the circumstances put aside, they all had to go into the bubble. They all had to deal with the same things. They all had to eat not the same food, but had to deal with the same food, trials and tribulations, being away from family.
Good, man. The food weren't bad.
Listen, if you hear what them man there said, they said the food was awful. Like when Rondo left, he said the first thing he did was go and eat food, bro.
Maybe that's why my man went to the strip club for the chicken wings. Then.
I don't blame Lemon Pepper. I would have done the same thing. I'm not gonna lie.
So would I, to be honest. So would I. But everyone has to deal with the same thing, and it's just the fact that the Lakers came out on top. Truth, how do you see it? Do you concur with Mr. K, or do you have a little bit of a different perspective on it?
Look, I was upset because my San Antonio didn't get in there, so I was about to call it off, but LeBron saved this title. King James saved the title because I'm a LeBron fan, so I'm glad he won it. So that means the title counts. As you said, everything was the same for everybody. It was literally survival of the fittest. The best team that adapted to the situation is the team that won. I think the only difference compared to a normal season in terms of games was that they were 10 or 11 games short of the regular season, but it didn't really affect the standings too much. In fact, if you were to think about it more deeply, you see Lakers, they earned the number 1 seed, but they couldn't, it had no advantage to them because it was on neutral ground. So their number 1 seed didn't mean much, and number 1 seed is a huge thing when you get a home advantage and whatnot. Also, they lost Avery Bradley. I think they're one of the only people that lost such an important piece of their puzzle, like Avery Bradley, who's their main perimeter defender. So, those two things actually put them at, quite a downside compared to everyone else. But as I said, they adapted the best and is deserved winners, and it all counts. It all counts.
It all counts. It does all count. Chip number 17, which puts us level with the Celtics. But, we're not going to be happy with that until we get the one more so we can shut those Celtic fans up completely, a.k.a. that tramp who hasn't been on yet, but we will be trying to get her on very, very soon.
I'll tell you what, the Chip 18 is going to be huge, Trip 18 would be huge because, you know what, that record, Celtics being on top, has been around what? Oof.
Since 2008.
No, since always.
I mean, Chip 7. Oh yeah, they've always been ahead. They've always been ahead.
So for Lakers to finally go ahead when it does happen, if it does happen, it's going to be huge. So, tying it up is very important.
Indeed, it is. And just to give anyone who hasn't been paying attention to the last game some context, game finished 106-93 to the Lakers. LeBron dropping 28, 14, and 10. AD dropping 19 and 15. Contavious Caldwell-Pope, he was putting in the work. Yep, 17 points.
Yep.
And obviously, we know the guy, Mr. himself, playoff Rondo, dropping 19, 4 on 4. Jimmy Butler getting 12, 7 and 8. And Bam Adebayo, who tried to put up a fight, getting 25 and 10. Mr. K.A., how would the Miami Heat view the way how these finals went?
I think they'll be upset, like most people were. They were competitors. They thought they had a boxer's punching chance. So they will be upset, but they gave it all they had, and you could argue they overachieved, or you can argue that they were the most improved team in that they just fought to got there. They had the guts and glories, came back from 3-1 down a couple of times and got there on merit and earned their spot there. So they were going to be upset because they had to fight the whole since they joined the bubble and became the best team in the bubble. But they were just too gassed at the end. Like Butler played, he did all as I was saying in previous videos, like he played like virtually all the games and all the minutes in the games, and like, they would just about beat the Lakers or they were just about to lose. So he gave it his all. I heard the stat today that where in the regular season he usually averages 20 points, but in the playoffs, in the finals, he was scoring like in the 40s. He was scoring in the 30s. So when he scored, I think 21 points in the finals, that's basically playing at his normal sort of level.
Mm-hmm.
And like he gave himself too much work. He was defending LeBron most of the game, and he was their offense. Like because Dragic was back, but he wasn't ready. He just came back to like support the team. Bam was hobbled most of the game, so they tried. They fought hard. Their rookies did well. Hero, Robertson, but it just wasn't enough, unfortunately. So like second word song, but like no, well done to them. But they just didn't have enough, as I've been saying throughout. They just don't have enough. The experience of Lakers was just too much for them. The know-how, just knowing how to win games and in the right moments and make the right plays, whether they will come off or not, like we saw in game 6. Game 5, where Danny Green missed the shot when LeBron made the right play. Yeah. But it happens. But they showed experience in the next game. They were ready, and they got it done. Sorry for the Heat, man, but they did well. But Lakers.
No, I think you summed it up well there. And just to pick out one of your points that you said, if I throw it to you, Truth, because I certainly do believe that Miami Heat, they wouldn't say it, but I think everyone else would say that they did overachieve this season in terms of getting to the NBA Finals. Would you agree?
I don't think they overachieved. I think they were the best team in the East in the bubble. Without the bubble,
They
it may
finished
have.
like fifth in the regular season. Was it
Yeah, I
fifth?
know. No. But what I'm saying is that in the bubble, they were the best team because they had the best coach in terms of adapting to the team strategies in the East, nullifying the Bucks, going toe to toe with the Celtics. Um, Celtics crumbled under pressure of being the East favorite at that time. They crumbled under the pressure of getting there, getting to another Eastern Conference final. And the way the Heat played, they didn't have that pressure. The young Bucks and the young Guns and them, the rookies and them, they didn't have that pressure of playing in front of a crowd under that pressure. Especially if we had a home and away, they would have had 4 away games with intense crowd thing coming towards you. It's a different game. So why I'm saying why they didn't overachieve in the bubble, they were the best team in the East. Um, just due to those factors. I don't think they overachieved. I think if the bubble happened again under these same circumstances, I think the Heat would probably advance again because, as I said, when you got youngsters there playing without pressure, when you have someone like Butler, who thrives in this kind of situation, you got Spoelstra, who's an amazing coach, as we've seen. I think it would happen again. So I don't think they overachieved for me personally.
Fair enough. I think. No, that's a. I wouldn't say. I get what you're saying in terms of because of the bubble and without progression. But I
Yeah,
100% get
you
it.
know, if it was if they were like Nuggets and they came back from 3-1 all the time, then I would have been like, yeah, they probably did overachieve. But we're talking about they swept. They swept Pacers, isn't it?
I can't
In the
remember. I'm not
first
gonna
round,
lie.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
it was
I think so.
Pacers because Pacers were 4 seed, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
They swept Pacers. They gentlemen swept Bucks, and you would say they outfought thoroughly a good Celtic side. Who was the favorite? It was 4-2. It's not even like it's not like it was like that close, came down to final game. It was 4-2. So I can't really say they overachieved when they performed ridiculously admirably.
I think the reason why people would say they overachieved is purely based on the fact that no one expected them to
Yeah,
get
no, yeah.
past Giannis and the Bucks, and I don't think anyone really expected them to get because there was question marks about Giannis, but I don't think anyone expected to get them for them to get past the Celtics with the
Exactly.
with the players that
Yeah.
they have. So I think, and then obviously getting to the finals and not getting swept by Lakers side with those names and the experience. I think that's why people would say they overachieved. But I understand what you're saying completely, and
Yeah.
I can agree with what you're saying in terms of the fact there was no pressure on the younger players. They're not having to go away to other stadiums. And obviously when you got Eric Spoelstra there with his experience, Jimmy Butler's relentless wanting to win, and then you got an all-star caliber player and Bam. And Miami had experience with Dragic as well. When you factor all of those things, I can understand what you're saying, but I think it's just because no one expected them to get past the Bucks and get past the Celtics to make it to the NBA Finals. But just to wrap up on the Miami Heat before we go on back onto the Lakers, Truth, what are you expecting from the Miami Heat next season, considering now they've got a taste of what it feels like to be in the NBA Finals? Well, this team anyway, because we know Heat's won chips, but this team getting a taste of being in the NBA Finals. What are you expecting from them next season?
This was huge for them. Like this was huge for their younger players. It was huge for someone like Bam. It's gonna help Jimmy Buckets. This experience for them was just so big. Like it's beyond anything that they could have hoped for. Because for me, in a normal situation, Heat don't make the finals. So them making the finals, you're gonna see a step up in their performance next year. They're gonna be a lot more solid. The experience is underneath their belt. They're not gonna feel the pressure of certain games in the playoff, round 1, round 2, round 3, because they've already been there. The finals are the most pressure they're ever gonna feel, and they're gonna be like, we've already done it. Let's go there again. I expect them to be a deep playoff team next year. With the way the East is shaping up, I don't believe they're gonna make the finals next year, but I think they will have a deep playoff run. Especially if they do get the main thing that they want, which is the holy grail of Giannis. If they get that, then whew.
I think if Giannis were to go to the Miami Heat, oh dear, that causes massive problems and probably makes them favorites. To be honest,
it would. I think it'll make them favorites
if they were to get
the whole ring.
Yeah, the ring. Yeah, remember you got Giannis, Bam, and Jimmy Butler.
No
That's
way.
it.
Giannis has a lot of work to do on his game. He has to work.
I know, but this is it. Giannis will become a post player because Buckets is going to be holding the ball.
Yeah, and remember, you got to remember, they got a hero and Duncan as shooters as well.
Yeah, they got.
So Giannis ain't got to shoot.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't know. I don't know about favorite. Do you know what? If you like, I just about agreed with the deep playoff run, but when you said favorites, I was like, whoa.
If they get Giannis, I'm saying they're going to get a deep playoff run anyway. So if they get Giannis, what's next?
I mean, me personally, I'm taking Giannis, Jimmy, and Bam over KD and Kyrie.
Of course.
Oh my God.
What? Why not? Okay, wait, KA, you are saying, a guy come back from his Achilles injury is going to be as good as we remember. If he comes back even at, let's say, 60%, a 6% KD.
Have you not seen KD?
With Kyrie.
Have you not seen
Kyrie? Mr. Self-destruct himself. Kyrie.
Mr. Kyrie, I'm gonna miss 50 games a season.
Oh no. No. Oh no.
I'm going to do it by myself because and cause disruption in the team.
Exactly. Come on, man. In the East,
with LeBron in Cleveland. Why can he not do it with KD?
Because he done it. Hold on. Because he was a loser before LeBron came in Cleveland. That's why.
Remember, Cavs never reached playoffs with Kyrie, did they?
Nah.
Cavs never reached playoffs just with Kyrie.
By himself. LeBron
exactly.
Didn't by himself. LeBron didn't make the finals by himself.
Playoffs. Kyrie didn't even make the playoffs with Cavs.
Nah, he didn't.
No. I swear, and that's for 4 years.
You're forgetting KD, man.
It's not. Do you know what it is? Do you know? No, hold on. You know what it is? It's with KD, right? It's a wait and see. Because as Max Kellerman has said so many times, no one has ever come back from Achilles injury and been the same. So I think it's one of them ones where
he's a shooter, he's a scorer, like he's a natural.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, even if like he's not a spot-up shooter in it, like KD, like pure scorer, probably the best pure scorer there's ever been, but he still needs the movement. He's not a Duncan Robertson or a hero where he can stand up and spot up threes. Like he's gonna need that movement, that dynamic movement to score buckets. And this is the problem. When you get the Achilles injury, it kind of hinders that. So I'm not saying that KD is still not going to be levels. What I'm saying to you is that we don't know what's going to happen. And if he's not at least 80% when and they come across the Miami Heat, if they get Giannis, like, come on, man.
KD is the only person for me that hasn't proved yet that he is championship material. As I said, he lost with 2012, okay, when it was his chance to shine against the Heat. He lost in the conference finals. I can't remember off the top of my head. He lost against
finals
in the next year against Spurs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he lost in the conference finals. He lost a 3-1 lead against a team that he joined, which he is never going to get respect for. And he has shined, been the man when the team is so stacked that no one was ever going to beat them. He has to go and prove it. How come he's the only one that doesn't have to go and prove it? He has to go and prove it that he can do it.
No, it's true. He does.
Is that true?
I agree with all of them saying, but he's still KD.
That's okay. That's like saying Harden and Westbrook were favorites for thingy. Harden is the most unstoppable scorer Oh, wait. Oh, what? Harden has to go prove it. Harden has to go prove it, innit?
Can't put Harden on that level because even
what?
before Harden is accelerated up to that level that he is now,
yeah,
he still had that mental capacity. So nothing changed.
If Harden joined Golden State, yeah, he would have had 2 chips by now. Let's swap it around. Let's say Harden joined Golden State, yeah, when they were instead of Durant.
If he was at Golden State, then you wouldn't have Kyrie or Clay there.
No, I'm just saying if Harden, not Durant, went to Golden State, they would have won 2. They would have still won those 2 rings, wouldn't they?
No, but I'm saying you wouldn't have had Clay or Curry there, though.
Why not?
You think they could have those?
Because of the position that they play.
All guards.
It's true.
Make sense. Come on, it's KD. Nah, I don't know.
Nah, but you didn't do much in that team, though. He didn't have to do much. He was so relaxed. He's got the 2 best shooters. The 2 best shooters ever. Like, there's no pressure. Like, look, okay, this how good having the 2 best shooters in the ever is, yeah? No matter what the score is, the score could be down 10. And Golden State did this so much. You're down 10, okay? In the
third quarter.
Exactly. You know about the third quarter, man. In 2 possessions, you're down 4. And you're thinking, damn, in another possession, you're down. In another team, you have to get at least 4 possessions to even get close to from being down 10. You see the difference in being comfortable?
Kyrie can pull them back like that.
Huh?
You don't think KD and Kyrie can do the same?
No.
It all depends on what KD we get. And if Kyrie can behave himself, right, then of course they're going to be a force. There's no denying that. But as I've said, KD, we have to wait and see. I hope KD gets back to somewhere near what he was, because for me, when KD has been healthy, LeBron's not been in the picture.
Whoa.
Plain and simple. He's not been in the picture because not been in the picture. Not been in the picture. He's not been in the picture. He's not been in the picture. But as soon as KD gets injured, LeBron's come back in it. But for me, like KD, a healthy KD, not saying that the healthy KD is the best. Not saying that the healthy KD is the best, because if you're talking about overall, LeBron is still the best in the world. But when KD went to Golden State, LeBron was nowhere to be seen apart from that last finals that they should have won. But J.R. Smith messed it up. Anyway,
no, let's not move on. We saw the greatest let you go after K. We saw the greatest game ever from LeBron when he dropped that 51 and JR did that madness. Who was KD then?
One game. KD was just walking stick, sitting back in his armchair. Like LeBron had to do that, and that's why I have mad respect for him, because he had to do that. He carried that team.
Yeah, exactly.
I think because the both of them, Kyrie and Love, were injured in that first 2 games.
They weren't even there. Yeah, remember that's after Kyrie left. Kyrie joined Boston that year. And he got injured. Love was in.
No, that last year, because LeBron joined.
That 51. Remember that 51 game was LeBron's last year. Kyrie was gone. Kyrie was gone that year. Love got injured
LeBron's played without Kyrie.
Kyrie went to Boston before LeBron's last year. Don't you remember?
I thought Kyrie only had 1 year at Boston.
No, yeah. Okay, so remember he went there and he got injured and he missed the whole of the playoffs.
Oh yeah.
It's the whole of the playoffs. I remember they done sick without him.
You know what it is. He causes so many problems. I can't remember.
Exactly.
And he's always injured.
Exactly.
This
is how I'm sure KD talking about. This is the guy that he thinks that's, I said, Kyrie, KD, they have to go and prove it. I'm not letting them get away with nothing. What have you done for me lately?
What are they proving?
Huh? Why? They have to prove. They have to go and win a chip. Okay.
They both won chips.
No, they have no. LeBron won Kyrie's chip. Clay and Kyrie won KD's chip.
No, he didn't.
Kyrie's had many
games. Kyrie could, because you could argue Kyrie was probably the best player in that series.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Yeah.
What?
Are we talking about the same thing here?
Are we talking about 2016
Yes.
with LeBron's stat lines?
Forgetting the game
Yes.
winners from Kyrie. Are you forgetting his game winners?
I'm not forgetting his game winner, but you have to be in that position to be in a game winner. Are you forgetting the block all around the world? There's never been a bigger block in the history of basketball. Without that block, Golden State are up 1, aren't they?
Yeah.
That was a block heard around the world. And I think,
After the block, Kyrie still has to make the shot.
I know the shot is important, but getting there, you have to be in a position to make that shot. You have to be in a position.
But whether if he misses it, then you're like, that block was for nothing. So what that?
No. There's remember. Okay, look, the last 5 minutes of that final was a weird final because no one scored for like 4 minutes straight.
I remember.
So it was locked at like 89. So it was a mad thing. So, but the person that got them up to that point was LeBron. I think he got the 6 points previous to that. You know, without that, forget about the shot. Without that, forget about the shot. But Kyrie and KD still, nobody has said that they are on that platform yet because they haven't done what they need to do, win a chip and be the man. I'm sorry, that's still not KD's team. That's why he's left.
No, because
that's why he left.
Like you said, he wanted to show that he can do it by himself.
I know, and he has to prove it. He has to prove it.
Step back, and he was like, "You take the reins because you are the best player on this team."
He has to prove what? So KD doesn't have to prove anything.
He does.
KD doesn't have to prove anything. He's favorite. If he's a fit KD and there's a fit Kyrie, Nets are automatically favorites.
In the East, probably they're one of the favorites.
No, I'm saying they're favorite.
I'd say no.
Even if Giannis joins the Heat, are KD and Kyrie favorites?
No.
You lot are forgetting like Tyler Hero and Robinson are rookies. Have you not ever heard of the sophomore year course? Like their second year.
Yeah, we understand. Agree. We understand that. But we're talking about Giannis, Bam, and Butler here.
Exactly.
Like,
and we're talking about Kyrie's problems. How many teams have Butler been on, and how many?
We know now it's not Butler.
Yeah.
How many fights has he got into on his team? He's
settled that heat. He's settled that heat. Like Kyrie went to Boston and he did the same thing. And as the truth said in the last video, Kyrie's already caught saying we need more, and he hasn't even played for the Nets.
Hey, Kyrie's a coach, you know. Kyrie's a coach of the Nets. So I know. He said him and KD are leading that team.
Because he's already put down Steve Nash, bro. Man said he doesn't want to be hearing no 4-4-2 or 3-5-2, bro. But
you can't be saying that about Kyrie and not be saying the same thing about Butler.
We need to move on. This isn't the Kyrie and KD.
It's true. We need to move on.
But I do love.
Comment down below. Tell us who's right and who's wrong, man.
Exactly. Yeah, comment down below, guys.
100%. But yeah, that's enough of that. We're just gonna wrap up with the Lakers now. First of all, Mr. KA, shout outs. Who were the unsung heroes in for the Lakers in this playoff run?
I can name a few. Like Superman, Dwight Howard, playoff Rondo, Caldwell Pope, even Kuzma at times. Even though he kind of had a quiet finals, even he had some big shots in the game. So the role players, they all stepped up in their own way and supported. It's like LeBron and KD and AD, are going to get all the applaudits, but the role players really did their job. And the experienced role players themselves even did like even more than what they were expected, and kind of like went back to their glory days and dug in deep. And like I'm really happy for Howard because he was getting dogged. Like he went through the ringer.
Yeah.
People were saying he was done, and he kind of picked himself back up, found himself at the Lakers, and he's got his ring. McGee, Mr. Shaqtin' the Fool himself. I'm happy for him because like he was made the laughing stock. Rondo 2-2, like nah, it's good. I'm happy. Those guys mentioned and many others, they've done well. They deserve.
They did the business. I think I think playoff Rondo, I wouldn't call him unsung because I think we know what Rondo can do. I think the reason why he goes into that category a little bit is because when, especially I remember when Stephen A was saying Lakers need Rondo back, a lot of people were laughing,
Exactly.
saying, "Are you being serious?" And Rondo came in and he said, "Are you lot forgetting who I am and my basketball IQ? And I'm Mr. Assist. I'm Mr. Assist myself. Like, do you know what I mean?" So, but KCP for me, I mean, he was a sixth man in these playoffs because I think, and Truth said it quite often in previous videos, saying that someone needed to step up. It can't just be LeBron and AD. Someone else needed to step up to get them points. And Contavious Caldwell-Pope consistently stepping up. I know he had one or two games where people were like, especially at the beginning of the playoffs against Portland, where he was getting called out a little bit. He stepped up a lot and did what we would have, the general people would have said Kuzma was expected to do in terms of being that third person on the team and putting up the numbers. Would you agree, Truth?
Yeah, totally agree with everything you just said. After in the final, no, I tell you what. At the start of the finals, I started looking at Caldwell Pope a lot more because he was very consistent and he was hitting some big threes. On defense, he was solid. You know, on that defense, he was solid. No one ever talked about him being thing on defense. In terms of your point of Kuzma, I was actually very disappointed with him the whole playoff series because for me, Kuzma should have been the solid third option. And I mean solid third. I'm sorry.
Too young.
Yeah, but he's got the talent, man.
Nah, man, he's much more talented than he should. Like for me, he was sleeping on defense a bit too much, and his shooting was like, I think in the game 5 loss, he was like 3 for 15 or something. Not a great stat line. For me, he should have been the solid third option, getting between 15 and 20 points, and that would have been the sweep for the Lakers. His place is under jeopardy next year. I can see Lakers trading him if he doesn't step up and prove that can be the solid third option, because I had high hopes for him. I thought Ingram, Ball leaving, Hart leaving. I'm like, yeah, you know, the real NBA housewives, whatever, of America, you know, leaving all that crap behind. I thought, yes, you know, we're going to see Kuzma. But for the whole year, for me, he just hasn't stepped up and grabbed that opportunity of being a solid third man, and really disappointing on his part. But he wasn't that awful. As you said, they got the chip in the end. He did contribute a little bit to it. I just wish he contributed a bit more.
I agree, and I think that's what I think when the Lakers were doing the trade, I think the one thing that people were saying was trade everybody apart from Kuzma because everyone can see the talent. I know you're a big Kuzma fan. I was like trade everyone apart from Kuzma and Ingram. That was me because I'm a big fan of Brandon Ingram. But I was like, if it was a toss up between the two, I wanted to keep Kuzma because we could see the talent and the guy scores. Because my whole perception was keeping Kuzma. He would have been playing the 2 guard position because for me he doesn't do enough as a small forward or power forward for me, and he scores buckets, like he knows where the bucket is. So I thought he would have went over to shooting guard, but for whatever reason it hasn't worked out for him. He's got the chip, but 100% he needs to step up next season, because if he doesn't, I can see the Lakers trading him, especially with players with player options. Rondo, Contavious Caldwell-Pope, AD, they've all got player options. So if Kuzma doesn't step up, I can see them being traded, and hopefully we can get Doncic. But just to wrap up, guys, we've left the two actually before the 2 main protagonists, Mr. Truth. He was talked down from the beginning. He was said that he was the wrong appointment. It was said that Jason Kidd was going to be there to take over when he failed. How much credit does Frank Vogel take from bringing the chip to the Lakers?
When you think of how he was appointed, he got the LeBron seal of approval, but everyone was unsure whether he was the guy. As you said, Jason Kidd was there in the wings. But what he has done this season in keeping that, Lakers should look, and honestly, Lakers should not have been as good as they were. When you think of all the spare parts they put together, the first season of LeBron and AD, they should not have been as good as they were. But Vogel, throughout the whole year, he has improved. He's taken his blows and he's come back. You know, they lost twice to Clippers, but then they went and beat Clippers twice. Shows the improvement. They lost the Bucks early. They came and went and beat Bucks. They totally dismantled everyone in the playoffs. And the way he's got that team playing and understanding their role, everybody adapting to strategy, adapting to small ball. The way he nullified Nuggets for me was probably one of his greatest things that he did in the bubble, because he nullified Joker. You know, putting Dwight on Joker was a masterstroke. Getting them to all buy into defense first was huge, and I think he deserves a lot of credit. As LeBron said, I think he needs his respect. Vogel needs his damn respect. So yeah, he did a huge job. Coach of the year.
100%. I was one of those doubters, to be honest. I said, why not Ty Lue?
Okay.
Obviously working with LeBron, Clutch Sports and all that jazz. So it made sense. But Vogel came in and he's proved all the doubters wrong. Doesn't matter how he did it, but he's done it. And he deserves that respect. Now people have to respect him because he's done the business, brought Lakers the chip back. Obviously, the players do it, but his coaching deserves a lot of credit, especially when people are like, oh, they can't defend the perimeter.
Exactly.
And Lakers can't shoot.
Exactly.
And,
Everything.
and whatnot. And he completely dismissed everything that was going on there. I see Mr. K is getting a little bit cold.
Yeah, I'm a bit cold. It's winter time over here in the UK, man. It's like
but yeah, Mr. K, we're gonna move on to the two main protagonists. Mrs. AD, first of all, winning his first chip.
Mrs. AD.
Messes. Yeah.
What's that?
It's just a title that, you know, when you give, like, I can't describe it properly, but it's just a title that you give him. You never heard of that before?
No, I don't think I've heard it before.
Flipping out, get out of the hood, man.
Mate,
get out the sticks, man.
Alright, cool. Continue.
Yes,
Go look it up. Go look it up.
I'm joking. Go on.
My government name and all that. But yes, Mrs. AD getting his first chip. A hard slog for him, obviously being with the Pelicans, trying to force a move to the Lakers. It didn't go through the first time. Finally gets there, gets to play with LeBron, gets to the playoffs, gets to the finals, averaging 30 throughout the playoffs. How important was AD to this chip?
Very important, man. It's like without AD, they weren't winning the chip. They had LeBron last year, and it wasn't enough. Even though it's like sounds weird saying it, LeBron, but Lakers needed those points in the post. They needed that defense. They needed that strength and height and length. So he was important. He put up some valuable points, and yeah, he did it, man. Because without AD, I don't think they would win this chip.
Of course not.
No, there was no chance of them winning this chip without AD. And just to put it
in the postseason, like 50% on field goals, like it was.
I know.
Crazy, absolutely crazy. And I think AD deserves so much credit because he took a lot of the, especially defensively, he took a lot of the pressure off LeBron.
Yeah.
Defensively, can defend 4 out of 5 positions. And we saw in game 6 of the finals, in the first quarter, he was eating everything. Absolutely everything. Blocking everything, involved in
he's a block party, man.
everything. It was absolutely crazy. Truth, in terms of AD, will this experience in the finals, the experience of winning his first chip, propel him to A, winning more, and B, I wanted to ask this question to you specifically, B, will it propel him to going after Tim Duncan as the greatest power forward of all time?
Hey, you know, Duncan's my guy. But I'll tell you what, AD is just, from what I saw this year, I knew he was good. I really knew he was good. But the level he has come to this year, the one thing that let him down at Pelicans, yeah, and this was a change that he made. He used to have injuries, and then even if it was like his pinky was hurting, he wouldn't play. This year though, I think someone had a word in his ear, and he was able to just, he got a knock, played through it, and that's what it means to be a champion, man. You have to play through these knocks. You think about Jordan, flu game, Kobe playing with his leg hanging off. These are all important. You have to get over the line, and he did that this year. In terms of Duncan, I tell you what, AD can do more than Duncan. That's a fact. Yeah. He can do more than Duncan. He's got a free. He's got a mid range. His free throw shooting. He's at what? High
something
80s,
stupid.
I
High
it's
80s,
like 90-something %.
Yeah, something like that.
Free throw shooting. He can defend all 4 positions. He can do it all. We're talking about him being called probably the best big in the league. Like, if he was to carry on, I want to see him carry on. For me, as I've said along, he has to go and prove it. Let him go and prove he can get 3, 4, 5 chips. I believe he can, and if he was to do that, then yeah, I would put him above Duncan. But that's only until he proves it. Up until then, Duncan's still going to be the best power forward.
Oh yeah.
It's fine quickly as well. I think what AD mentioned it in one of his postseason interviews. Being around like Rondo and LeBron made him a better player. Like the experience they brought to him as teammates, and sort of like the encouragement that they gave him to like be confident, to be aggressive, and like to know that he is the guy that he's like. LeBron was calling him baby goat and stuff like that, just to kind of boost him up, and that will go. Obviously, he's not saying he's the baby goat, but like that will go a long way for AD.
Yeah,
he needs that arm around his shoulder.
And I just hope he stays there. I hope he doesn't go off and feel like, oh, I can do this now for myself in Chicago. I think he's got a few more years left of learning. You don't go. For me, LeBron passing him the torch is more beneficial to him than him just going off to Chicago and, trying to do it himself. Let him get a few more chips with LeBron. Let LeBron torch him, and then you can learn to carry a team. Don't think you could just, you won your first chip, it's time to go off on my own.
It's true. No, he's still got years to learn, and we'll see what happens in terms of his player option and what he decides to do. But me personally, I hope he stays at the Lakers for many years to come. And once LeBron goes, I mean, him and Doncic will be a force to be.
I mean, this guy's trying to sign Doncic himself. Rich Paul, TJ, Rich Paul.
I'm telling you, listen, Doncic and AD, that would be a force to be reckoned with. But at last but no means least, we have to talk about the main man himself, LeBron James. What can we say about him? What hasn't been said already? I mean, he averaged a triple-double in the playoffs. He joins MJ, Bill Russell and Kareem, winning 4 finals MVPs, and he's beaten the record for most playoff appearances, beating man like D Fish.
I saw that record as
well. Truth, in terms of LeBron James, I mean, what can be said that hasn't already been said? But was this the most difficult championship that he has won in his career so far?
In terms of championship, for me, the most difficult one was that 2012 one. I know people talk about the 2016 one, but for me, that was LeBron doing LeBron things. The 2012 one was about pressure. You know, choking to Dallas that year before, that must have been weighing on his mind. The pressure that he had was immense. So getting over the line against OKC in 2012 was huge. But this one, again, the pressure was there because of everything that happened. You know, Kobe passing and LeBron saying, I'm going to carry... That is huge. Putting someone's death and the franchise on your back and carrying it. I mean, the blowback, imagine losing. The blowback would have been... Even if you want to chip after this, Lakers fan, Laker Nation would have like threw him away.
No,
he wouldn't have been a no Mount Rushmore, no banner, no nothing.
It's true.
So so putting it on your back and winning it, winning it, considering everything that's happened in the bubble with Kobe, was, for me, this will go down for me as the second hardest one to win. I think those two, winning in 2012, winning this one this year, is better than 2016 for sure.
No, I think I can agree. I think Mr. KA, in terms of, I think the reason why some people might say it's the hardest because of everything to do with Corona and the time off and coming back in the bubble and only being in Orlando and not having the home support. Any arguments to say that this was his hardest one, or do you agree that the Cleveland comeback or any of the other two were his hardest?
I think 2016 and 2020 were both his hardest, but in very different ways. As the truth said, he had the pressure of Laker Nation on his back, like playing for that franchise, and he had no excuses this time because he had AD come and join him. But that 2016 one, he had something to prove because how they got beat how they were getting beat by the Golden State. And so then to be 3-1 down and being basically, are you about to get beat again and then come back? I think that's quite hard. I think that was quite an achievement, and it probably was. I think just in terms of basketball terms, and personally, edges it for LeBron. Yeah, Lakers being the franchise that they are, that brings a lot of pressure in itself. And with what's going on in America, with the Black Lives Matter movement and the whole debate going into the bubble, where LeBron was an advocate for it, saying, let's go in there. So like for him, he had so much pressure on his back. And just for the legacy conversation as well, and the respect, like LeBron's one of those people where he wins, he doesn't really gain much. He loses, oh my gosh, the whole world's coming to an end. Like LeBron, he's terrible. Michael never lost the finals. Like I could go on and say many other things. Like
never.
So yeah, well, but Michael didn't get to the. Anyway, I don't even want to go into that.
Just
that's what I never meant. That's what I never mentioned. I'm trying to keep that. I'm trying to keep. Look,
I'm not going to. I'm not. No.
But this adds to the pressure. But this adds to the pressure.
We're not doing this now. I'm
just saying. But I'm saying this adds to the pressure. LeBron wins, and all you can hear is MJ. Like LeBron wins, all you hear is MJ. LeBron loses, all you hear is MJ. MJ never had none of that pressure.
Of
No
course
one
he did.
Put some damn
Of
respect.
course
on
he
his name.
did.
He
Because
it.
at the end of the day, especially in the second three-peat, anytime that MJ went into, especially when he lost to Orlando, just coming back where that man wasn't retired, right? Everyone was getting on his back saying he can't do it no more. And he had to come back the next year after being out for so long, having to train his body to do. I'm not doing this now.
No. I'm just talking about pressure. I'm like,
Of course, there's always
there's
pressure
no
with
one
MJ, especially with the second three-peat, because he was expected to win them all the time. So it was pressure. I get what you're saying in terms of LeBron, because it's like people want him to fail, whereas MJ didn't have that. MJ didn't have that. So I get it from that perspective, because people want him to fail. But there was still pressure back then.
I'm not saying he didn't have no pressure, but I'm saying that there was no such thing. What's hanging over LeBron is 6-0. Like no matter what, it's hanging over LeBron 6-0. MJ didn't have that pressure of anyone because back then there was no such thing as a perfect final. Everyone knew you lost in the final or you lost or just losing. But the 6-0 is just hanging over LeBron, especially this one. Like this one was painful. Everyone was saying if you lose it, remember this series was a legacy game. People were calling it. It was a legacy game. Imagine a final. Defining your whole legacy, 17 years.
It's true.
And this final,
it's true.
Defining your legacy. So
look, now I think that's because it would have been 10 finals. That would have been 10 finals, only 3 rings. You could never ever have a conversation with anybody.
I agree.
With MJ again.
I'm there. I'm honestly believe like if LeBron lost this final somehow, that would be as far as he could only challenge number. I don't even know if he could challenge number 2. I don't even know if he would even be above Kareem. But
speaking of number 2, just to wrap up, KA, we'll start with you. This trip, number 4 out of 10. What does this do for LeBron? Where is he now in terms of the Mount Rushmore?
I'm
asking a question.
We're getting into.
And we're not getting into it because I'm not bringing MJ into it. I'm saying, where does that put him for you on the Mount Rushmore of basketball, Mr. K?
He's already there, so nothing's changed.
No, but where does it put him? Like, where is he? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Mount Rushmore is just the 4 players on the 4 faces.
Yeah, but the order matters.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you ask me a different question, you ask me the question you asked me. It doesn't matter. He was there already, and he's there now still.
Proof? Are you gonna give me a position that he's on the Mount Rushmore?
You know what, KA, I'm joining you because I'm tired. I'm tell you what, I'm starting to get tired of the GOAT talk because his career is still going on. He's got what 4 years left, maybe 2 years at the top, then another 3, 4. He's got those years left. There's still loads of time left. I don't want to talk about that. He's clearly on the Mount Rushmore because of everything he's done so far. And I think this one, he deserves a rest from the GOAT talk. Just let us enjoy it for once. Let us enjoy what he's doing for basketball. For you as well, now I know you were before a primate of King James, but the fact that he's coming, you guys were in, 2-3 years ago, your front office, you had this horrible contracts. I'm gonna tell the truth. I never thought Lakers were gonna come back to the position that they are now. You guys were just in a horrible place, but he's coming. Everything settled down. Magic's done it. Jeannie Buss has done, what she needs to do. Rob Pelinka, everything's settled again. So just let them enjoy this run and see where it takes us.
Yeah, I 100% agree. The franchise was in turmoil before LeBron came, and he's come in. He settled the ship. Brought in AD, brought in a couple of pieces that people thought that we would never do it. And it proved that not only LeBron's greatness and AD's greatness and the team as a whole and what they can achieve, but it also proved that there is only one team in LA, and there still is only one team in LA. But as we wrap up, because LeBron is on the Mount Rushmore. Lakers have got chip number 17. The GOAT debate is coming up. Don't know when, but it's going to come up. But we will enjoy, as the truth said, Lakers winning chip number 17.
One question. This goes to both of you actually. Just before we wrap up, I know we're kind of time, but very quickly, next year, since it's the last NBA talk till next year, who are the favorites? Who are you looking for? Who's gonna win it? Okay.
I to be honest, I don't know because right now it's hard to say.
I know there's still draft picks and everything, but initially,
there's like the player movements of like people in the free agency. So you gotta wait and see how players come back. Like, is there going to be a preseason? Is there going to be a shortened season?
Fair enough. Yeah, I guess there's loads of stuff before them.
Things up in the air. We don't know if it's going to be bubble 2.0. So
fair enough.
And I don't even imagine a bubble doing a whole season in a bubble, like you won't be able to keep people there for a whole season. So
no.
Things to like figure out, and
yeah,
that's my opinion. Right now, I don't know.
TJ,
if I'm honest, I would have depending if we're talking about right now and no major trades happen.
Yeah.
I would have the Lakers as favorites.
But
I think personally I'd still have Clippers as a close number 2. I think Clippers is a close number 2.
Hey, come on, get off that boat, fam. Get off that boat.
Nah, man.
Until they get rid of Will of P, they're not. There's no number 2.
Yeah, he's probably gonna go. He's probably gonna go. I don't know where.
And I think from the east side, Brooklyn Nets are there.
Milwaukee can sort themselves out there.
Milwaukee can sort themselves out, and I think and let's not forget the Raptors, because I think the Raptors are going to come strong next season, and the Celtics has got the players. So if the Celtics can just get it right, they're a force for anybody with the players that they got and the bench depth that they've got as well. But it's at this moment in time we'll see what happens. But I think that's what it would be. But we are going to wrap up because some of us have things to do. But yes, thank you very much to my guys, The Truth and Mr. K.A. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Take it easy, guys. Hate, subscribe, comment, anything you want to do. Let us know. Let us know what we should be doing next. Take it easy.
Yes, like, subscribe, comment, and let us know what you want us to do next. Premier League's coming back as of this week. Got the Champions League starting next week. We've got boxing coming up as well. We got UFC next week. We need to do a preview for UFC 254. So we've got plenty of content coming. Didn't actually even get a chance to speak about the French Open final either. So we're going to have to cram this all in at some point. But yes, people, make sure you like, subscribe, comment. And we shall see you next time. Peace.